Hello everyone, I am Teresa Glow with Keep in Touch Crafts. Thank you so much for joining us today for Demos Galore. I am going to be demonstrating the Oval Occasions bundle for you today, and you can find this on page 65 of our new January to June mini catalog. Keep in mind, a bundle can save you 10%, which is kind of a nice savings. Okay, so let's take a little bit closer look at this set. First of all, the punch. The punch has two sizes of ovals on it. The smaller oval is 1 7/8 by 7/8 inches, and it has a smooth edge to it. And the larger oval is 2 1/8 by 1 1/4. And you can see the larger oval has a wavy edge to it, which layers perfectly with the small one. So the stamp set itself has 13 cling stamps in it, and it can be used for a big variety of different holidays and celebrations, card types. And the sentiments in this set start off with thank you for your kindness, a little treat for you, welcome little one, a time to celebrate, hugs and kisses, sweet friend, happy birthday, and then so lucky to know you. And then the various images are there's a little 4-leaf clover, there is some hearts and some stars and flowers that are kind of a swag. And then we have the image with the two bunnies on it. That can be great for Easter or a baby card. All right, let's gather our supplies to make a card together. We're going to be starting out with a base of petal pink, and it's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. I'm going to be scoring in 2 1/8 inch from each end. From the left and the right is 2 1/8 inch in. So I usually use the left side score to be a much deeper score, and then the right one is a lot lighter, so that when I do put them together, that's going to be a perfect match, and I'll be able to crease it down at that point. Then we're going to be bringing in another strip of petal pink, and this one I have cut out to be 1 1/2 by 7. And what we're going to be doing with this is stamping 3 images on it, and then we're going to be punching out 3 of the ovals. So it doesn't really matter the exact size, but that's what I'm using to be able to get those 3 punches and stamps out of that one. Then we have this center piece that's going to go on the inside, and it is petal pink as well. The size on this piece is 4 1/4 by 2 1/2, and I have already stamped the heart images along the top and along the bottom because it's going to be having a Valentine's Day theme. I've also stamped the So Lucky to Know You piece here on a piece of scrap, and I've colored it in with some cherry cobbler. So that is going to go on the inside there, and I'm going to be layering that so there's a little more interest with that. And now for our next pieces of paper that we're going to be needing is we need a roughly 2 by 7 1/2 inch piece of the cherry cobbler. And we're going to be punching 3 different bases out of the wavy ovals on that. Then on this one, it's 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, and that's going to mat underneath the pink that we have stamped for the inside. Okay, next you can bring in some DSP. I've chosen a piece here that is 4 by 5 1/4, and that is going to get cut in half so that you have 2 panels for our gatefold card. Each of them are going to be 2 inches wide, and they are going to be 5 1/4 long. So you can see on the back there I have Flower and Field is the DSP pack that it comes from, and that's a pack that you'll be able to get free with a $50 order during celebration. So this is one of the patterns in that pack. So this will be what we're going to be using on the front of our card for our gatefold. Okay, let's bring everything back here and we're going to get assembling our card. Let's start with our card base. We're going to go ahead and give those score lines that we had a good crease and a nice strong crease there. And then to get those edges to match up, I'll bring that right side in, and then it's going to meet perfectly, and we will be able to give that a good crease as well, and it'll be a nice meeting in the center there for that standard gatefold that we're going to be decorating, but we're going to add a little bit of flair to it. All right, so we have it all prepped and ready to go and waiting for the DSP. So let's bring that back in. We have our 2 panels of DSP, 2 inches wide by 5 1/4. And now I'm going to be bringing in our new seal adhesive, and we're going to be adhering that to the back of these 2 panels and then putting that onto the front of our card. Whoa. All right, All right, so we have the seal. I'm not using the Seal Plus, which is even stronger. Either one would work, of course, but this regular seal has a lot of adhesive power to it, and it does a great job. So this right side is done. I'll be doing the same here along the left side, and getting that seal in place and making sure that those panels stay on, which it'll do a really good job with that. All right, oops, get it going again. Okay, we'll get this in place. Nice and neat and tidy. Okay. All right, so that is in place. And give that a good press down there. And we're going to be bringing along now, we're going to get the stuff that goes in the inside. All right, so let's bring in the other pieces for the inside. Now, this first piece I have pre-stamped the heart image right there on that cherry cobbler along the top and the bottom. And that was the 4.5 by 2.5 inch piece that I had already done. And this image I stamped in the black Memento ink and colored it in with my blends markers in the cherry cobbler. So it was stamped with Memento and colored in with the blends. The other hearts, they were actually stamped with the cherry cobbler ink. So they all coordinate well together. So I'm going to be punching out this image with our large wavy punch. And I'm going to bring that in here, and you can see that it fits perfectly in that top wavy edged punch. And I'll get that centered in there and pop that right out. All right, perfect. And then I'm going to be putting that right in the center of that piece with the hearts. Okay, time for a little more seal. Get that right in the center. There we go. And that is going to go right in the middle. Easy peasy. All right, there we are. Press that down right in place. Then I'm going to be getting that cherry cobbler cherry cobbler cardstock that I had already prepped before, and then that is going to be the mat to give that a little pop of color for the inside of this gatefold card. It's going to go like that. All right, and you can see the blends. They do bleed through, but that's okay. That's kind of typical. So make sure if you use blends that you do cover up your backside, because typically you do see the ink on the backside. So that is fine, and we're going to put that here, put it right in the center, and give that a press. And great, there we are. That is going to be in the middle, in the inside, like so. Okay, we'll do that one next. Sorry for my head getting in the way there. Okay, and right there in the middle. This is what I'm calling a triple punch front gatefold card, because the front of it's going to have those 3 punches on it, which you'll be seeing in a minute. So it's just a little bit of a variation on our standard gate card. Press that down there, and the inside is all prepped. Now we need to focus on those front 3 ovals that are going to go down the middle. They're going to be right there. 1, 2, 3 in the center. All right, let's get those back in. Here is a piece, the 1x7 that I was telling you about earlier. I would normally stamp on there and then punch them out, but I did that ahead of time. And here is our cherry cobbler piece that we're going to punch out those 3 wavy matted ovals for the behind those front sentiments. Okay, so you can see I had plenty of cherry cobbler there. It could have been a little smaller, but here's the 1, 2, 3 of those. Nothing else needs to be done with those other than just adhering the front little ovals on top of them. All right, so now I'm going to be bringing in these scraps. I had already stamped them just to make it easy. I use scraps. They're not beautiful, but it'll do the job. So rather than using that strip, I get it all done. I put here in the center those hearts just stamped off a little bit over Hugs and Kisses so that you can still read it. And then I'm going to punch those 3 sentiments out of the smaller oval down there. There's one. It's going to go in our center oval. And then on the top, I'm going to be using one that kind of arches down like so with the hearts. Okay, so let's bring in some dimensionals. I'm going to be putting those on the back of the petal pink ovals here, just a couple of them, and that's going to just add a little more dimension to the front. And you can see I was using scraps on this, so that's kind of nice to have those that you just use them up. All right, let's peel the backing off, and that's just going to get centered on this oval. Okay, and so those are ready to go, but what I'm going to be doing to go to the front, or to adhere them to the front, the top and the bottom two, they are going to have their adhesive on the left half of the oval. Only on the left half, because they are going to be adhered on the left, and then our center one will be adhered on the right on the back. So as they close, it'll come together as a kind of a closure for that front of that card. So I'm going to start with the right oval, and that one, as I said, is going to go right on the right hand side only with adhesive. I don't want it to get on the left half. So there we go. There's our seal. That's going to go in the center of my card. Gosh, hair is in the way, sorry. And I want to adhere that down in the center and press, 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 and it'll only be adhered on the right side. Now I want to do the opposite on the other two ovals, and so they are going to get adhesive on the left side. So I'll flip this one over, remembering the left, putting a little bit of adhesive there. Alrighty, and this one is going to go on the bottom on the left. Okay, about there. Give it a press. And we'll do the same thing then with this top one, remembering which side I want to put the adhesive on it so I don't do it on the wrong end, wrong half. Turn it over and adhere that one down on the left hand side, evenly spaced apart. Find where it goes and give it a press. There we go. Okay, perfect. And that is how the closure is working on this one, where those ovals just kind of go together to keep it kind of closed. Whoops. Okay. Now I want to embellish it, of course. You can't just have it plain, right? Okay, so I'm going to be bringing in some metallic ribbon, and this is from the Love You Always suite. It's kind of a goldish pink on one side and more of a just plainer pinkish blushing bride color on the back, and the color I thought would go best would be that blushing bride side without the metallic. So I made a knot out of that ribbon, and I just kind of gave it a little tug, and then it's all ready to go, and that's going to go in the center. And then I have 3 of those pearls from the Hydrangea Hill suite, and so I have this petal pink ribbon I'm going to be putting on with the glue dots, and then those 3 pearls are pastel pearls from the Hydrangea Hill set, and those are in a nice pink that kind of goes along well. So here we go with that little knot. I'm adhering that to that center oval, and now the pearls are going on with the one on each of the top and bottom ovals here, and then I'll put that third one in just kind of a random spot on the front here. Let's see, where do I want to put that? All right, my take your pick tool to the rescue. It had kind of jumped away from me there. All right, come on back here, Pearl. There we go. So there is adhesive on the back of those, so that's really helpful. Okay, so here's our finished product. I was going to show you too, just today in the mail, I received some of my orders that I was waiting for. Resin hearts were in there. Those would go really pretty with this as well. So that would be another option if you have those, or any kind of, different embellishments, including there's that Hydrangea Hill pack. Those worked really nice on there too. And so there you are with a finished card. Okay, and now I was going to show you a little project I came across. Here's my little packet of ovals that I have cut out, and I just used 4 of the ovals. I have a little strip that's 1/4 of an inch wide, and then I am going to be making a little bow out of this. So I'm going to take 2 of them, and I'm going to take my bone folder, and I'm going to really curl them, and they are going to be the different loops that are going to be part of a bow. So I'm curling that one. like so. Okay, and then I'm going to do one more curled like that to make the other loop of the bow. And then I'm going to be using some glue dots to make each individual loop. So I bring my project to my glue dot, and I like that you can just go ahead and peel off a bunch or tear off a strip of those glue dots now. It's really handy that way. It's a little change for us. So here is our second loop, and I just press those together really well and kind of squish it a little bit to give it a little bit of a loop effect. And then I'm going to be making the two tails that are going to be used for the bow. Now I'm going to have two of them. They're going to kind of sit like that, and I'm going to be making a notch in each end. I have a little pattern that I made so that my notches would be the same. And so I just used the same one to make sure that my notches are, a mirror image and nice and even. So I use that, and then I'll just take my snips, and I'm going to get those lined up, and I'm going to take a little wedge out of there, and that is one of the tails on the one side of the bow. And then I'm going to take this fourth oval then to do the same thing, and I'm going to make the other side's tail. So there we go. Take a little snip. Here we go. Get it nice and even. Okay, that's what the pattern does. And now we're going to be kind of assembling. Okay, so I adhered the two tails together with glue dots, and now I am on the back of each loop. I'm putting a glue dot, and I am going to be matching that all into the center there. And we'll be able to cover that up though, so that isn't going to show. The second loop here, we'll put a glue dot on. All right, and that is going to be covering everything up. There we go, give it a press. And then we will put that center strip on there with glue dots as well. Like so. There we go. Well, let's fluff up that little bow a little bit more to give some dimension to it. And there is our finished paper bow that we made with 4 punched out ovals. Who knew, right? Okay, time for samples. Here's a card I came up with that shows the bows on the front. I stamped the hugs and kisses, sweet friend on there, and I just used some of our colored DSP in the different various colors. The center one has some little spots on it. I used the back side, and the other 4 had that same pattern. So that is one example of something to do with the bows, right? And the next thing here is just an ice cream cones. I made them with the ovals. It's kind of a little bit different look. And here is another flower I made, and it is really unusual. Here's the purple ovals. There were 5 of them. There's an oval out of the brown early espresso. Then there was the dark green. I just trimmed a little piece of an edge and then ran it through an embossing folder and embellished it with a ribbon. Kind of a darker, different look. Here is a sunflower. It was so much fun to make this, and each of those petals on the outside I sponged to make it have a little texture. The center here is just one of the dies or one of the embossing folders from the dandelion, and I punched that a circle out. And then I sprayed some glitter mist on it, and I also did the inside, time to celebrate you, sweet friend. I kind of piecemealed some of the sentiments to make it a little different from how it was originally set up. And then happy birthday is on there, and there's the little leaf as well. I used the mossy meadow color for that, and just kind of curled them with a bone folder too to give it a little more depth. Here I use my Stamparatus to just take the swag that has the florals. I stamped it, colored them with blends, and then I just kind of made a different layout with that, and then made my own DSP kind of. And here's our thank you for your kindness stamp down there. And I have a little ribbon behind it, obviously, too. And I stamped just a little bit of a light version on the inside. Okay, next here I did an attempt at a little bit of punch art with some little fun little guys here. It's not something I've done a lot with, but I know there are people very talented at it who do quite a bit of it. And this is my attempt. I had a lot of fun with it though. The first one here is a little frog. Obviously, I trimmed down his little legs to make them so they weren't quite as wide. And I also did the stomach here with a circle punch and flipped over half of it with a different design. And here I put some googly eyes on, and the eyes up there are just some round circles, and little daisy flower stems here for the feet. Just I clipped a couple of them out of our daisy punch and made those for his feet, his toes. Here is our penguin with the welcome little one. It's a baby card. And to make this guy, I used a black circle, a white oval, and then a white oval there, and half of a black for the wing, and then another black is on the right here. So on the bottom part is a white and a black oval next to each other with the half of a wing, and the face is trimmed off out of white, and I had some orange that I just punched out and trimmed down for the feet and the beak. There they are, and a little ribbon on there too. Welcome little one, a little baby card with a penguin. Hope you like that one. Okay, and I made something that I don't normally do, and that here is a kind of a home decor project. And this is based off of a piece of artwork I saw hanging on the wall at a salon that I went to not very long ago. Very similar to this. And the whole thing was all one color. I did decide to make it on the very vanilla and the whisper white, which is something I don't normally put together, but I wanted it to be very easy for you to see, and I was afraid if it was too tone on tone that it would be tough to kind of see what it was all about. So I decided to go ahead and do white with the ovals. You can see that texture there a little bit, and the back ovals that have the wavy edge, those are not embossed at all, but these little inner ones are embossed, and they're also kind of curled with a bone folder. Some are embossed with just a whole bunch of different patterns that we have right now, and so I actually punched them out first and then embossed them after that. You can see they're kind of sticking up a little bit and curled just a somewhat, and that gives it a little more texture and that kind of thing. But, you know, I wouldn't have thought to do this myself. It would be very inexpensive for us to use our little scraps and be able to make something out of that for, you know, to hang on the wall or a gift or something. Okay, well, that's what I have for you today for Demos Galore for this Oval Occasions bundle. I hope you enjoyed it.